What is going on, Purple Squad? Fiddle Steven here. Welcome to another episode of the Fiddle Rundown. This is sort of like a news series I do on my channel, but I more so talk about gaming and pop culture and just stick with that only. I'm going to try and do these more often. I like to wait until I have 5 stories to talk about, but sometimes if I only have 2 or 3 stories to talk about, I'll still release an episode. The only thing is with my work schedule and YouTube, it's kind of hard to make videos, but I try my best to make videos still to keep up with the YouTube algorithm. So if you guys can subscribe and like, it really helps me a lot and I really appreciate it. Our first story is a Splinter Cell leak. So a lot of fans of the series have been waiting for a new Splinter Cell to come out, and there have been teases here and there, but no actual confirmation that a new Splinter Cell was in the works. But we might have a leak from GameStop that Splinter Cell will be coming out soon, maybe even next year, maybe even an announcement at the end of this year and then a release date next year. This leak comes from GameStop, who had an image up of a replica of Sam Fisher's goggles from Splinter Cell. So it's kind of odd, why would GameStop be selling merchandise for Splinter Cell when there isn't any game announced and the older games aren't going to be selling any merch, so why would there be merch all of a sudden for Splinter Cell? So the goggles were a little like, that's kind of odd, but it's not until you read the details that blatantly leak that there's a new Splinter Cell coming out. I'm sure this is just a mistake on GameStop's part, but nonetheless, they do confirm that a new Splinter Cell is coming out. It reads, "For the first time since the introduction of Splinter Cell in 2002, after 9 top-selling AAA titles, and with the 10th release on the horizon, this is your first chance to own Sam Fisher's signature ultra-high-frequency sonar goggles." So as you can see, it says right in the first sentence, with the 10th release on the horizon. But I can see Ubisoft working on it, and they have confirmed that they're not, like, shutting down Splinter Cell. They do want to, keep that series going, and this is the perfect time to reboot it. Hopefully they don't go the Ghost Recon Breakpoint route and completely just change the formula. For those who don't know, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is going towards like a looter shooter rather than a tactical shooter like Wildlands, with the open world element. It's more so a Division game than a Ghost Recon game. So I really hope they don't do that with Splinter Cell. Could you imagine, like, you get a new Splinter Cell, you play it, and all of a sudden it's like Watch Dogs? What? You know what I mean? Also, this could be about Tom Clancy's Elite Squad that does have Sam Fisher in it, so this could just be promoting that game coming out for iOS, Android, and Nintendo Switch. So we cannot exclude that possibility. This could very well be merchandise for that game. Our second story comes from CD Projekt Red that have confirmed that multiplayer will be coming into Cyberpunk 2077 as like an add-on later on for the game. They tweeted out, "Until now, the only thing we said about multiplayer was that it was R&D. As we're getting closer to launching single-player Cyberpunk 2077 in April 2020, we'd like to confirm that multiplayer is in the works. If you feel like lending us your skills, apply here." And they're recruiting people for multiplayer, so if you have the credentials for that, go ahead and click the link in the description and apply, and maybe you can be working on the multiplayer. The plan for now is to deliver Cyberpunk 2077 in April, then follow up DLCs for free and single-player content, and once we're done, invite you for some multiplayer action. So first of all, that's really great news, okay? DLC is for free, and the multiplayer is probably going to be for free as well. Hopefully it's not like a tacked-on multiplayer and it just flops. I wonder how it's going to work, considering that Cyberpunk is going to be an open world. Is it going to play out sort of like GTA, where you can just roam around and shoot people and just do whatever you want, drive around? Or is it going to play out more so like Destiny, where you guys go on missions together in raids? We'll have a better idea when the game comes out in April, but you know what? Multiplayer is always welcome in a game, as long as it's done right. Our third story comes from Chrome Studios that have been running a Kickstarter for the Tasmanian Tiger Remaster, bringing it to Switch. Not only have they hit their goal for Switch, but they also hit their goal for the PS4, and they're really close to hitting their goal for the Xbox One as well. They did say if their goal wasn't reached for the Xbox One release was coming out, but just later on, and not with the same release of the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. But if you're a PS4 player and you're getting this game, on release date, it will be coming out digitally only, though, unfortunately. I wish it was physical. I'm a big physical collector, as you can see. I have the original right here, as you can see, and this is such a great platformer that if you guys have not played this game before and you're a fan of platformers like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, I highly recommend you try this game out. It is such a unique platformer that also warranted itself 3 sequels. But the first one, nothing can compete to the first one. The levels are just so much fun, the boss fights, the humor. It's such a great game. And I'm so glad it's getting remastered, and I'm so glad the Nintendo players will be able to play it, as well as PS4 players and Xbox One players will be able to get their hands on the remastered version. Now, granted that there are the remasters of 2, 3, and 4 on Steam, it's safe to say that the other ones are going to be coming to PS4 and Xbox One as well, if Taiwan does good. I'm sure it's going to do well. Platformers are on the rise. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro have been on top of the charts whenever they release. So I can definitely see them port all 4 of them on current gen consoles. If you guys want to back up this Kickstarter, link in the description for all the information. My 4th story is the Bully 2 leak is confirmed fake. Bully 2 gets leaked like twice a month, like no lie. Like there's a leak like every 2 months. Just type in Bully 2 leak and you'll see a bunch of pictures coming up. But no picture has looked so real than this current leak. It was a picture of this mansion right here called the Withersmith Mansion, and as you can see, it's obviously a pause menu of the map, and it just looks so real. You have your player up in the top left, who as you can see is Jimmy Hopkins. You have your money on the bottom of that, and then you have the map, you have your little tabs, you have help, character, story, map, progress, settings, online, a social club, you know, all that typical stuff. It just looked so real. So obviously people were like, oh my god, this is the real leak. This looks so real. Bully 2 is going to get announced any day now. And then the creator of the concept art came out on Twitter claiming that it was all fake. He apologized on Twitter, said, sorry guys, it was all concept art made by me. It went too far. And he tagged a bunch of people, just let them know that it was fake. And then he showed off more of his concept art for Bully 2, and my god, this concept art looks great. Unfortunately, like I said, it is fake, but just check out this concept art for a second here. Now, it is unfortunate that this leak was fake, but what's more fortunate is that when an actual leak comes out, everyone is just going to shut it down. It's going to be like, someone's going to come out, guys, I have Bully 2 pictures, here's the leak. They're going to be like, fake, oh yeah, Photoshop. Because you never know nowadays. This leak here looked so real, and it turned out just to be concept art. So we'll never know now if a leak is real or not, you know what I mean? So that's the real unfortunate part. And our 5th and final story is sort of a serious one. Matpat from Game Theory tweeted out an image of a presentation that they were giving at a big media company. They tweeted out, giving a big presentation to a big media company. Etika may be gone, but we're trying to make sure his memory and his message aren't forgotten. And it shows a picture of the presentation that says, cancel culture, the impact of cancel culture, Etika's suicide. And then it has a quote of what Etika said in his final video. Now, I wasn't a big Etika follower. You know, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and say I was. But Etika was a human being, and Etika was a content creator, and he was someone that was dealing with mental health issues. But I also see what Matpat is trying to say here. Now, Matpat is getting a lot of hate for this. He's also getting a lot of people that are understanding his side, but majority of it is hate. And I think majority of the hate is confusion. You guys have to remember that Matpat is the type of guy that does a lot of research. He does his research before he presents something. He obviously knows Etika was dealing with mental health problems, and that was the main issue that led to his suicide. But saying that cancel culture had also nothing to do with it is wrong as well. I'm not sure if you guys know or if you guys remember, but when Etika went missing, people were skeptical on Twitter. They were thinking he was doing it for attention. And Etika probably seeing that he was trending, and majority of the trends were saying he was doing it for attention. That definitely did a toll on him too. You guys are going to remember that, right? So what Matpat is trying to say here is that cancel culture did have a play in Etika's suicide, but it wasn't the main issue. As you can see, he's saying it's the impact of cancel culture, not that cancel culture was the main thing. Remember, this is a presentation, right? This is just one slide of the presentation. I'm sure Matpat went into detail with it. And if I'm wrong, and Matpat does not talk about his mental health issues, then feel free to comment in the video saying, Fatal, you're wrong, Matpat did not talk about mental health problems, and I will correct myself. But this is still early. He just wanted to show one slide of the presentation, and I'm sure he went into detail with cancel culture as well as mental health issues. People were saying like, F you Matpat, you're so stupid, Matpat, you're so wrong, and they were like collectively mobbing against him. That's cancel culture. That's what he's trying to talk about. So guys, you can have your opinions, but save the mob mentality until Matpat comes out with the full story of this and not just one tweet. That is the Fatal Rundown, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. All the links are in the description. If you have a story that you want to tip off to me of gaming related or pop culture related, feel free to DM me on Twitter. My Twitter DMs are always open, and I will credit you for the source if I use it in the next Fatal Rundown video. Also, let me know in the comment section down below what was your favorite story, as well as any opinions you guys have. Start a discussion down there. I would love to read all the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Fatal Steven out. Peace.